Hi all. So this episode I'm calling This is Ridiculous. So as you know, 2 weeks ago I found out my immunity was really low, and then I only had one of the drugs for chemo that week. Then last week it was still low. In fact, it was lower, so I had no chemo. So today's Tuesday. I had my blood test yesterday and they rang me and said it's now the lowest it's been, and this was after I'd had an immunity shot, if you remember, last week. And I'm thinking, oh good grief, what do I need to do to get my immunity up? Anyway, so in true fashion, Derek and I started Googling. Some of the things we found out about bringing your immunity up are things like, make sure you have more protein, make sure your calorie count isn't too low. And that could have been actually a problem because obviously when you're in chemo, you're not as hungry. And I was probably only eating 2 meals a day because I wasn't terribly hungry. So I'm going to make sure that I boost my calorie intake and protein and vegetables and things like that. It's just healthy diet. The other one is rest. And, as you know, I've been working pretty much this whole time. So I think what I'll do for the next couple of days is just back it off, because basically what they said this morning was, and I went for another blood test this morning. So Icon rang me, Derek and I were on our way into the 9 a.m. chemo. But basically what they said is, even though my readings had gone up overnight, it still wasn't at the level that sat with their protocol. So what the test is for neutrophils, NEUTROPHILS. So yesterday I was at 0.41, which, as I said, was the lowest I've had. I don't know what they went up to overnight because I actually didn't ask them. I should have. But what they basically said is that they will move chemo out 2 days. So Thursday they booked me in for at 10 a.m. I did ask whether I should come in and get another immunity booster, but they basically said the last one really did nothing. So there might be something else going on with my body. I did push that a little bit because it makes sense, having an immunity booster. And I said, when I was on Red Devil, I actually had 3 days of immunity boosters and my levels were fantastic, but they did say this is a different drug. So on Paclitaxel, it isn't a protocol to have the immunity booster. Now there will be reasons for that, so I just have to trust what they're saying. But it's just so frustrating because what's going to happen in the next 2 days? Hopefully, given that my bloods went up overnight, it'll continue to go up. But even last week they went up overnight and then they went down again, and that was with an immunity booster. So good grief, it's just so frustrating, and I really don't want to lose 2 weeks of chemo. So Dr. Solanka is still away, so it'll be really good when he gets back and I can have a chat to him. We'll see how we go on Thursday. But they also said that if they're not seeing any improvement, they may have to refer me to a hematologist to see what's going on, because I think I've stumped them as well. Usually people's neutrophils go up again within a week sort of thing, and mine seem to be going down. This is quite normal though for my sister and I joke that our bodies will ultimately do the opposite of whatever they're told, and we've seen that with the symptoms I had too. Remember, Dr. Solanka said you'll have all your hard symptoms up front and then they'll get better. For me it was the opposite, so it's just my body being stupid, I think. But anyway, so we just have to see how we go on Thursday. There's no use getting, all concerned about it. It's pretty much day by day. And the worst thing is I feel fine. I feel fantastic. I had a nice relaxing weekend up at Moreton. So that was really good. And I really thought that I'd see better results, particularly after the immunity booster. But anyway, so... and then the other thing that I am really loving, which is so weird, is this. That is the NOS oil. Remember I said at the start of all this, one of the symptoms I was getting when I did feel like I was, not as great as I wanted to be was, all the dry mucousy stuff within my nose. And then last week, Dr. Fletcher said, get onto the NOS oil. It's been fantastic. It pretty much cured it straight away. So I sort of think, even if you have a cold or anything like that and you're getting blockages and dry blockages in your nose, a build-up, get the NOS oil. It is actually quite spectacular. So I have been using that all week as well. So that's the thing I'm grateful for at the moment, because I'm sort of digging around to find anything else. But as I said, look, I feel really good. I don't feel sick. And I think the biggest thing with the immunity being low is that you're susceptible to pick things up and catch things. So I've been lucky, but I need to probably be even more careful, with washing my hands, wearing a mask if I'm out. But look, most of the time I'm just in the unit, either by myself or with Derek. So I'm sort of staying away from germs. But obviously I wouldn't want to get a big infection, because that would really destroy things. Anyway, so that's my update for today, which is Tuesday, supposed to be chemo day. I'll give you another update after we do bloods on Thursday as to whether I have chemo on Thursday. Okay, thank you. Bye.